are listening to the Critical Mass Radio Show, Orange County's business talk show, focused on exploring topics of interest to CEOs who are leading middle market companies. With your host, Richard Franzi.
And welcome to today's episode of Critical Mass Radio Show and Podcast. I am your host, Richard Franzi, and this podcast is episode number 1125. And we have a very special guest in the studio today. I'm very excited. U.S. teen pregnancy rate is the highest in the developed world. And by embracing, encouraging, and empowering young people, FRISTERS helps to bring support and hope to teens in need. They provide the necessary resources to make sure all families deserve a fighting chance in this society. We have the founder and CEO here in our studio, Woodard, a friend of the program. Welcome to Critical Mass Radio Show and Podcast.
Thank you, Rick. Very happy to be here.
So
truly.
I said, it's a pleasure to have you here. So I said in the beginning, you just a moment ago, you're the founder. So tell me a little bit about the organization and sort of your reason for founding it and how you got it started.
Sure. Well, FRISTERS, which I'll start with that, stands
Okay.
for Friends and Sisters. But we were created to help teen parents build healthy and stable lives and families. And I'm excited. This is our 10th year that we've been equipping teen parents in Orange County. And really, I started it because I was pregnant as a teenager. And back then, there were no services, no resources to help a young parent with raising her child and trying to go to school and trying to figure out life. And so I really wanted to create an organization that surrounds young parents with a community of support, with education to help them finish their high school and learn how to get jobs, learn how to parent, learn about healthy relationships, give them the best chance possible to live a great life.
So how long did you think about starting FRISTERS before you actually, 10 years ago, made the commitment and started the organization?
Probably a long time in the making.
Okay.
Because, again, as I said, starting as a pregnant teenager myself, and then over the years, having a career in business, but then kind of just coming to a place in time where I wanted to give back. And I was looking for a place to help pregnant teenagers, and there wasn't. And so I had the opportunity to start something and to create something out of nothing. And
Right.
today we've helped over 2,000 parents and children changing their lives and their futures.
So one of the things that you taught me early on, and in full disclosure, I've known Allie for some time. I first heard her speak about her organization, and I was so impressed that I went up and introduced myself, and here we are now talking on Critical Mass Radio Show, that teen pregnancy is actually a foundational problem in that it leads to other things like poverty. And so could you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. Well, a pregnancy at any age is a challenge. Most mothers would agree with that. But in the teen years, it really puts opportunity at risk. Teen parents are very vulnerable to, of course, dropping out of school, isolating themselves. They lose family and friend support. They can become depressed. The children really can suffer higher rates of abuse and neglect. They do poorly in school. They have behavioral issues, developmental delays. They're not ready for kindergarten. They often drop out of school. Leads to criminal activity, gangs. I mean, it just spirals out of control. And it's there's a fix for it, and FRISTERS has that. And it starts when the children are little and the parents are young, and to really equip them. And it changes their future.
It feels like, and this is an uninformed statement, so correct me if I'm wrong, Woodard, that teen age pregnancy more heavily falls to the girl than to the boy.
It does, but the dads matter, and the dads need help, and we support teen dads as well.
Okay.
We support the moms, we support the dads, we support them as a couple, helping them build healthy and violence-free relationships, which changes their family environment, which
Right.
changes the children's upbringing.
Yeah, because for those of us that it's been a while since we were teenagers, we remember that we weren't a finished product as our teens. And to put on top of that the pressure of a family or a child. I know how demanding first couple years of having a small child can be, being the grandfather of a 1-year-old, I
Yep.
can see what my daughter and her husband go through. I can only imagine the stress that puts on a young family.
Right. And we can do something about it.
What does FRISTERS do about it?
FRISTERS, number one, has incredible curriculum and programming that addresses the needs of these young parents and really helps them with parenting, education, employment, healthy relationships, sets them up for their future. We have direct services for the children with a preschool curriculum, early intervention services, those critical 5 years for a child. We ensure their developmental success in life. Couples programming, again, to bring the couples together to learn how to communicate, how to parent together, how to build a strong, healthy, happy, that's a new word.
Yeah,
Just like
right, there you go.
See, there you go. That brings me to
trademark that, baby.
FRISTERS stands for Friends and Sisters. So I was creating a new word there, healthy and happy families. So a lot of programming. We're in 5 locations, 5 cities in Orange County. So parents have access to us all over Orange County.
So those 5 cities are?
The 5 cities are San Juan Capistrano, Costa Mesa, Santa Ana, Anaheim, and La Habra.
And do you partner with organizations that are in those cities to deliver your services, or how do you do that, Allie?
Absolutely. You know, partnering with the community is a huge value of FRISTERS and how we actually designed our services to be delivered. We look for space through churches who have available space during the week to house us and our families. So they give us meeting space at no charge and open up their rooms. We get restaurants that donate meals and want to help support our work. Other agencies, organizations support, teach classes, come alongside, volunteers, college internship opportunities. We get 1/3 of our budget every year is through in-kind donations.
Okay.
So it's really, we've garnered a great deal of support from the community intentionally to come alongside these teen parents and provide that support network.
And being around other peers that are in that same situation has to be very powerful.
Absolutely. There are a lot of mental health issues, depression, and a support network is the first thing that can change a life around, is not being isolated and alone.
Right, because they understand what each other is going through better than anybody else, right?
Right.
We're going to take a break. My engineer tells me it's time to take our first and only break here on Critical Mass Radio Show. When we come back, can I talk about your core philosophy that you're using to lead and grow FRISTERS?
Sure.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to go anywhere. We're going to be back with Allie Woodard after this word from me.
Best-selling author Richard Franzi's written what Marshall Goldsmith has called an incredibly poignant foray into the realm of unintended consequences of executives' decisions. In Killing Cats Leads to Rats, Mitigating the Unintended Consequences of Business Decisions, Richard Franzi takes a close look at the impact of unintended consequences on business performance and employee engagement. Through the retelling of the experiences of executives at Pepsi, Wells Fargo, Kodak, Volkswagen, and many others, Richard paints a compelling real-world account for how executives leading firms of all sizes must do a better job of anticipating and controlling the outcomes of their strategic business decisions. Killing Cats Leads to Rats is available through major bookstores in paperback, Kindle, and audiobook formats. To learn more, visit www.richardfranzi.com.
Told you it would be brief. Welcome back to Critical Mass Radio Show and Podcast. I am your host, Richard Franzi. All of our shows can be heard anytime on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker.com, hundreds of former guest websites whose CEOs have appeared on our show. Since we started this show in 2009, we've reached hundreds of thousands of listeners through the live stream here on octalkradio.net, our podcast, and the other platforms like YouTube and Facebook that we use. If you'd like to receive our show automatically, just type these 4 words in your favorite podcasting software, Critical Mass Radio Show. All right, we're talking with Allie Woodard. She is the CEO and founder of FRISTERS. Before the break, I said I was going to ask you to talk a little bit about your core philosophy, what we call here on the radio show your guiding principle for leading the organization. Can you share that with us?
I'd probably say, you know, I believe in helping these young families. And I believe in the relationships, you know, that we can build with them and change their lives and surround them with support. And so because of my own pregnancy as a teenager, that is at my core, wanting to now give back. And I believe everybody really wants to give back and help people in life. For me, it's all about finding those people that have a heart for young families and equipping them and engaging them in this work. So everything that I do is about coming alongside and helping other people. And so people at FRISTERS, our partners, our employees, our volunteers, our interns, everybody is really on board with helping others, equipping others, giving back to the community.
You are very comfortable talking about being a pregnant teen. Has that always been the case, or is that something that you have kind of evolved to be able to share?
Absolutely evolved. If it's a very complex issue, and for me, it was it was a difficult decision.
Yes.
Even though it's legal and it's a right, and but for many years it was just a kind of a secret, and I wouldn't talk about it. And yet today I'm able to help others going through the same thing, and so that's kind of what I believe is my purpose.
So that was my follow-on question, which was, does it help with the people that you're helping to know that you have an organization and you too at one time were in a similar place?
Absolutely. It really resonates with people, and to see, what's possible. Everybody in life has something they've dealt with, and I believe everyone could figure out, if they could figure out what it was, and then they could help others that had the same issue and help them come out even stronger.
Right. I understand that you periodically have a graduation of sorts.
Yes, every year we give our moms an opportunity to graduate from the FRISTERS program. So they have to have been with us 3 or more years, have a high school diploma, and we want to celebrate their accomplishment at working hard to become the best women and best moms they can be. We put them on stage, cap and gown, have a video about them, celebrate them. Their children come up with flowers for their moms. Their families are there surrounding them, proud of them, how they overcame a difficult challenge in their life.
Right. And I would assume 10 years in now that you must have alumni who are involved and come back.
We do. 2 alumni actually work for the organization.
Okay. Wow.
And a lot of others, they come back throughout the years. They're great spokespeople for us, and really sharing how FRISTERS was their support network and really helped equip them as a mom.
So we all have these challenges. Could you share with our audience any current challenges that you're facing into and how you're planning to address them?
Challenges as an organization?
Yeah.
Well, always, the needs are so great. We're always trying to keep up with the fundraising, to keep up with the needs. We have a wait list, and we say that because we're not in the city of Fullerton yet. So we say we know there are girls that we're turning away because we can't serve them. And so it's always a matter of continuing to educate the community on the needs that we have right here in Orange County, and letting them know FRISTERS is here and has opportunities to get involved with supporting us with restaurants or location space or volunteering or fundraising.
How is your board?
Board is great. We're so excited. We just added a new member, Katie Sauls. She's the director of HR at In-N-Out Burger.
That is great.
So she's very excited about getting involved, and it's always good to bring in new blood.
Sure.
But very passionate board, and wanting to see us succeed here in Orange County. And eventually we have a national model that we'd like to see.
Okay. Well, we'll have you back on, and we'll be talking about as you're expanding into other states. Because I imagine one of the things that you have to think about as the founder and CEO is when you open up and begin to offer services in the city, you have to be able to stay there.
Yes, sustaining our operations.
Right.
Yes.
So it's just not the money to get into it, but it's okay.
Correct.
Now that's our new operating expense, right?
Yes, absolutely. And that's kind of our model. As we go into a city, we pay for the first 2 to 3 years really in full, which is that launch money. Sometimes people give us an investment to go into a new city.
Okay.
And then we build up the community around that chapter. So we get the restaurants involved. We get groups and individuals who raise money or buy books or bring meals or start to volunteer. So that actually brings costs down. and makes it a very effective means of providing help for these families.
So I know many organizations have galas and funding events, really important things to help the organization strive for greater things. By chance, do you have anything coming up that you'd like to share with our audience?
Well, as a matter of fact, we are celebrating 10 years on September 28th. We have our big celebration gala at the Port Theater at Corona Del Mar. DJ, cocktail parties, fun, sponsorship opportunities. We're excited. Pretty sure the Angels Baseball Foundation is one of our premier sponsors.
Wow.
Lots of others, Love and Puree in Costa Mesa. We still have a few left, and you can get information at fristers.org. We have monthly giving programs, all kinds of ways to get involved.
And if people wanted to attend,
Yes.
is it a fun event?
It's going to be so much fun. Imagine hearing from so many parents that their lives have just been changed, and music and videos and live auctions and sit-down dinner, and it's going to be a great time.
Are you soliciting auction items, or do you already
Absolutely.
have Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We have suite at the Honda Center, Angel Suite, Disneyland passes, the hotel, Fashion Island, all kinds of fun stuff.
Is this something you do each year, or is this something you're doing because it's the 10th anniversary?
This is actually the launch of our new annual gala.
Okay.
And so we're starting off with 10 years and being able to show the impact that the organization has made in Orange County.
That's fantastic. Speaking of your organization, is there anything that you want to share with us? Any recognitions or anything that's happened to Fristers recently that you could share with us, or not yet?
Well, we are very excited. Just yesterday, the Orange County Business Journal came out, and it was their edition featuring the best places to work in Orange County.
Right.
And I'm honored to say that Fristers is on that list
Wow.
of best places to work in Orange County.
That is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank
you must be
you.
very proud.
Very proud. Not only do I think the work that we do is exceptional, but apparently it's an award-winning place to work.
Exactly. What was the impact on your staff to be selected by the Orange County Business Journal as the best places to work?
You know, I think they just, I think they've always known, they love their work. They're passionate about helping others. And I think it just made them feel proud to be a part of this organization. And they are the organization. So
Right.
they're what made the list.
Right.
How they interact and how they do their work and how they give back. They're an awesome group.
So when you agreed to participate in the Orange County Business Journal survey, did you think Fristers would be selected?
I didn't, but I saw the opportunity and I thought we should go for it, and then we won.
So the publication came out yesterday?
It did.
Are you receiving any calls or emails? Has anything started yet?
I've had a few congratulations, which
Sure.
is great. And we're certainly going to be using it for our marketing materials for the next year.
Right, and recruitment, right?
Absolutely.
As you continue to grow your organization and
Yeah.
grow your, that's all great. What do you have? You touched on it a little bit, but could you put a little bit more around the idea of growing Fristers?
Yes, so we are currently in 5 cities, which is wonderful, providing services and programming for moms, teen dads, couples, and children. We want to, of course, maintain those services in those cities, and then we want to launch in new cities in Orange County. Like I said, there's so many parents that can't come to us. They have transportation issues, and so we need to go to them. So we're looking at launching in Fullerton and launching in Orange. We could have 2 more locations in Santa Ana due to the size of the city,
Oh, wow.
and in Anaheim. Very large cities, and we want to be accessible. When you're 16, you don't have a car, you don't have gas, you can only go so far, and we need to make sure that we're getting this help to the young families in Orange County.
Is teenage pregnancy a socioeconomic thing? Does it go across all the different, strata of socioeconomic? What have you found 10 years helping families?
It goes across all socioeconomic levels, but there is, I'd say, a majority are coming from low income. And so the help that they're getting from FRISTERS is not only helping them as a family, but helping them break that cycle of poverty and to move forward and go farther perhaps than their families have been able to do.
Is teenage, and we're talking with Ellie Woodard, she's the CEO and founder of FRISTERS, is teenage pregnancy something that gets passed down from one generation to the next? I mean,
it is. It is. It's very cyclical, without intervention.
Right.
The child is highly likely to repeat the cycle of teen pregnancy.
Right.
And so apart with all our work, one of those consequences is breaking that cycle.
Right.
And really stopping it from repeating and giving the future generations a whole new outlook.
So you're going to come back on our show, and we're going to be talking about not only your expansion throughout Orange County, but your plans to expand nationally.
Yes. Yes, we are.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Intentional. We'll put that out there.
Intentional,
right?
Yes.
Okay. If someone would like to learn more about your wonderful organization and you as its founder, how do they find you online, Allie?
You can find our website at fristers.org, and that FRISTERS stands for Friends and Sisters.
Which is spelled?
FRISTERS.org. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and for now, and LinkedIn.
And I would, so obviously, since our audience are CEOs and business owners, if you want to get involved, there's many ways to get involved. But also, if you happen to know someone who might need of the services, this would be, definitely something they should share with other people in their community, right?
Absolutely. So many people are touched by teen parenting. Perhaps they were raised by a teen mom or teen dad, or
when you
their
say
child.
Teen,
Yes.
what age? I mean,
13 to 24.
As young as 13.
Mm-hmm. We have a wonderful little couple with us, 15 years old each.
Oh my God.
She's in cheerleading. He's in science.
So just imagining all that has to go on to help them lead their lives and deal with the child.
Yes.
That's a lot of demand for services and help.
Right. That's why we involve the community in the work.
Well, thank you for doing that. Thank you for being a friend of the program and a part of my community. You're awesome.
Thank you for having me here. I appreciate it, Rick.
Of course, anytime. You will be back, ladies and gentlemen. Allie will be back. And I'd like to thank our engineer for today, none other than Paul Roberts, who also happens to own this station, and our producers. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do this show. They are Joan Park, Crystal Nunley, and Haley Stern. If you'd like to connect with me on LinkedIn, please check out Richard Franzi, Franzi. Would love to connect with you and start a conversation. And until our next show, I hope all of your business decisions will move your company in a positive direction.
You have been listening to Critical Mass Radio Show Business Talk Show, focused on exploring topics of interest to CEOs who are leading middle market companies. With your host, Richard Franzi.